How's it going, everybody? Ragaroth here. Sorry if my voice sounds kind of off. I have been very congested lately. That's part of the reason why I've been kind of very absent with videos. I've been waiting for that to clear up, but it's just taking too long, so screw it. So this is a video I've been kind of wanting to make for a bit, especially before this game comes out. It's similar to my kind of why we need to support Bleach Rebirth of Souls video, although this time now for Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Admittedly, I think the reasons why I think this game needs to get support are less, I guess, complex, for lack of a better term, than maybe Bleach Rebirth of Souls reasons. Even still, I just kind of want to share this and kind of get the word out there. So I guess, number one, why do we need to support Sonic Racing Cross Worlds? The first reason is pretty simple, so the game can get supported for a bit. A very common theme I've noticed with all of the Sonic Racing games, and honestly I guess maybe Sega games as a whole, but especially the racing games, is that kind of once they come out, that's kind of it. You know, you don't really get much more. No DLC, no updates. I remember the first game, I think, like Metal Sonic was a DLC character after the game came out for a bit, and the second game, like the only DLC were like these random ass characters for like the PC version, and that was it. And then Team Sonic Racing got absolutely nothing. And this is something I wish Sega could get better with in general, just supporting their games a bit more. But these games, I think in general, I feel like you would think they'd be a little easier to do than something like, you know, Yakuza or something like that. And I think the good thing is we already kind of see that happening because we know there is a season pass that has Sonic Prime characters. Which is, it's something I personally think it's a very kind of boring choice. I liked Sonic Prime, it was fine, but the characters from it are mostly just alternate versions of characters that are in the game, so it's kind of boring. I think most of us agree, if we were going to get any other alternate version of characters in the game, we would like to see the movie versions. But I guess maybe that was a little too expensive to kind of start off with. Maybe they kind of have to see the game's doing. Or maybe it's just too expensive in general, I'm not sure. But regardless, I guess I should say I would like, you know, so we can get supported past this first season pass, because that would be kind of lame if all we got were some Sonic Prime characters and that were it. If the game does well, that'd be like, hey, it's making money. We can, you know, use this budget, you know, use this money to kind of budget for more, you know, support after. You know, then boom, we're in. We can see a lot more characters and hopefully courses and cars and all that for the game, especially because they've already said that they would like to ideally add more Sega characters as well, not just Sonic characters. So the second reason is, again, another plain reason, but I think just to keep Sonic's momentum where it's at. So Sega and Sonic in general have been doing absolutely great lately. 2024 was probably overall the best year I've at least seen Sega have in for a long time, long time, which is always great to see as someone that kind of started with Sega as kind of their first game console and all that. So I think if this game does well, I kind of help that momentum, keep that momentum going, and get us even more Sonic and Sega project. And admittedly, like, I mean, if the game does well, I'm not saying that, you know, we're not going to see anything Sonic related ever again, or Sega related. I'm not going to say, you know, bankrupt or anything like that. I'm just saying this would kind of keep it going forward, keep it on a good pace. Probably the most plain reason. Now, the third reason, probably the biggest reason I would say in my opinion, is if this does well, maybe we could see spin-offs that aren't just racing games. Don't get me wrong, I like these racing games, they're fun. And the tennis game is okay as well. But I think there's other spin-offs a lot of us want to see. One in particular, that of the fighting variety. I have been begging for a new Sonic fighting game, or even a new Sega fighting game, for the longest time. The last Sonic fighting game we've had was Sonic Battle on the Game Boy Advance. I actually have a lot of fond memories of Sonic Battle, but it's a shame because while that game was good, it's like that game came out like when Sonic Heroes just came out, so it's like there's a lot of characters we didn't have yet. Like we didn't have Silver, we didn't have Blaze. The Chaotix were just kind of making a comeback, so it's probably too early for them. I don't know why Metal Sonic was in the game, but we could have Neo Metal Sonic in this game. We could have Nephiles, Infinite, characters like that. Of course, I would just like, you know, maybe like a Sega Smash Bros. Kind of style game, or even like I don't mind like Sega versus Capcom or something like that. Just something. Give us a Sega Sonic fighting game. And yes, I know there's a new Virtua Fighter, and You know, I'm not the biggest Virtua Fighter fan. I am actually more hyped for that game, though, seeing more of it, and I'm going to give it a shot. And that's cool, Virtua Fighter's coming back. That's great, but I would like to see a fighting game with more than just Virtua Fighter characters. It's kind of like the Capcom problem. It's like, we can't get a new Capcom fighting game that isn't just Street Fighter characters. I want a new Sega fighting game that isn't just Virtua Fighter characters. Like, come on. So I feel like if this game does well, can maybe send a message to Sega, and, you know, maybe it's wishful thinking, that, like, hey, you know what? People like this. We should do more spin-offs. Now, they could just take it as, hey, people like this. Let's do more racing games, which is fine, too. But hopefully maybe it gets their wheels turning a little bit more outside of just the racing game sort of mentality, and we can get, you know, a fighting game. And yes, I know, before people bring it up, I know there are, like, rumors and trademarks and stuff that suggest there could be a Sonic fighting game. And while I'm not saying that it can't be the case, I'm not fully convinced that those trademarks are for a fighting game, or like that. It was under the Sonic Blitz, which people think could be a fighting game. And then also, I think there was like some job listing for Sega employees to make like a new 3D fighting game or something like that. People think that could be a new Sonic fighting game. I'm just not fully convinced. I mean, maybe it is, maybe it's not. I don't think we know enough either way to kind of suggest it's definitely that or not. So that's my mindset right now. Just thinking like, hey, if this game does well, maybe then we'll get a fighting game or something like that. Now, in terms of, do I think this game will do well? I think there's a couple factors to that. It's really hard to say. You know, obviously, I'm not an expert on this stuff. I'm just kind of predicting what I know. First of all, we still don't know when this game is coming out. I think it's going to be a very early fall release, or maybe a late summer release. I'm kind of hoping for maybe an early fall release. And I do know that there is a certain big juggernaut that was delayed, that was supposed to come out in the fall, that was not, Grand Theft Auto 6, that at least this kind of lets other games kind of breathe a little bit. But I think there's one particularly plumber, elephant-shaped juggernaut. See what I did there? Because Mario turned into an elephant in the most recent game. I guess is probably on everybody's mind when it comes to Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, is Mario Kart World, which comes out less than a week from me recording this. I think it's very hard to say whether, because it's so hard to say what like the reception of Mario Kart World is going to be, because on one hand I feel like when I go online I just see nothing but negativity about Mario Kart World, mostly negativity about the Switch 2, price, all these practices. Hell, I'm even seeing Sega getting kind of mixed in with some of the negativities with Switch 2, with the game key card thing, which I will say, just saying this right now, I'm not saying I love that, because I know that they're very guilty of it. I know they're doing the Sonic X Shadow Generation Switch 2, the Raido game Switch 2, and there might be another game that I'm maybe Yakuza 0 Director's Cut for Switch 2. I mean, I'm not saying I like that. There's just so much negativity, which makes me think like, okay, well, maybe I don't have to worry about, you know, it kind of Mario Kart World kind of hurting Sonic and Sonic Racing Cross World's chances. But then it's like, when you kind of see how well all this stuff is selling, it's just like, what? Like, so is this just like a very vocal minority that's just saying all these negative things about the Switch 2 and Mario Kart World? I'm not sure. I mean, it probably is. The internet does tend to kind of bring out more negative comments than positive comments a lot of times, especially these days, which is unfortunate. So it's really hard to say. I do think that Sonic Racing Cross Worlds being farther away from Mario Kart World will help. And I do think, regardless of what you think of the Switch 2 or Mario Kart World, we can look at it this way. To play Mario Kart World, you need to buy an almost $500 console. Probably a $500 console after tax, regardless if you're getting the bundle or not. And then, let's say if you don't get the bundle, you buy that, and then to play Mario Kart World, you need to pay another $80. Now, to play Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, assuming you have a current-gen system, you don't have to buy a new system. And Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, I think it's going to be $60. I don't think it's going to be $70. I think it's going to be $60. So that's already a lot less money. And it's also on more systems, too. So if you're not a Nintendo person, you know, you can buy Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. So that's, I think, a big advantage in Cross World's favor. Now, in terms of how good the game will be compared to Mario Kart World, it's, I mean, I hate to say it, Mario Kart World objectively will probably be overall better, but that's not to say Racing Cross Worlds still can't be fun and enjoyable. I mean, I enjoyed the beta from when I played. I even played Mario Kart World. They haven't come out with the beta or demo for that I've had access to. So I can't say much there. I do know one thing, like, look, I like Mario Kart, I like Mario and all that, but, like, at the end of the day, I'm always been more of a Sonic fan, and I like Sonic characters more than Mario characters, and I want to kind of see Sega characters thrive a little bit more, so I want to just see, I'm tired of Mario having to steal Sonic's thunder all the time. Like, you know, they can compete fine, but it's like, unfortunately, Sonic's always going to be just at a slight disadvantage these days, just with how much of just juggernaut Mario is compared to Sonic. You know, sure, yeah, the movies have have done amazing, and that's definitely helped Sonic. But keep in mind, Mario's only had one new movie compared to Sonic's 3. We don't know how well the other future Mario movies are going to be. I think the next Mario movie is called, like, I think Super Mario World. So I don't know. I want Sonic to just not be snuffed out by Mario all the time. Please, God. So yeah, I think it's gonna do fine. I think it's definitely gonna do more better than Team Sonic Racing. I don't think we have to worry about that. I don't know. We'll see. These are just kind of my hopes and just kind of my thoughts, and I kind of hope you agree, and this made me encourage you to give the game a chance if you're on the fence. I know the recent negativity with the game now is that they think Dream Gear gameplay doesn't look as good as Sonic Riders games. I've admittedly never played the Sonic Riders games. I've seen videos comparing the two, and I can see maybe why Sonic Riders looks more appealing. I think my argument and other people's arguments is that while, yes, it's definitely toned down, it's like they are trying to blend it into another kind of whole other kind of style of racing gameplay. So I think it was just not realistic to expect it to be one for one. I think I appreciate them at least incorporating into the game for all the people that just don't like Sonic characters being in cars. At least you have the Extreme Gear. But I might use the Extreme Gear a lot. I don't know, for all I know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. If this video kind of resonates with you anymore, if you disagree with me, if there's other reasons that, maybe I missed, other good reasons to kind of support this game. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But of course, as always, like the video if you like it, dislike if you dislike it, definitely subscribe if you haven't already. It would really help the channel out a lot, even more. Of course, check out my socials in the description below. I believe my Discord as well. But regardless, thank you so much for checking out this video. And as I always say, another time, another place, keep being awesome.